All right, greetings, fellas. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it's been a difficult thing getting everybody together. Everyone's got lives living, and since that seminal moment at the protests where Patrick, you were photographed doing that deed of goodwill. It's probably been madness for you guys, and I guess if you're not used to the media in the way that I am, it might seem a little bit, of a whirlwind. But I wanted to catch up with you guys and really find out what the agenda was when you all set off to go down to the protests, because from what I could tell in the conversations I've had with Jermaine, it was essentially about culturally specific protection, our people looking out for our people, in particular the younger generation who can be led astray by whatever means. So talk to me, how far away from the mark am I, or was that it to a T?
Well, okay, well, this, going straight to it, is, as Jermaine said, and you've just mentioned it, the rest of the boys, we've been worried about our young ones for quite some time now. And since this protest's been going on, what really made it worse was when I witnessed for myself on TV the way they were being handled by the police, the last march before we went up there. And I didn't go up there. I think Jermaine was the only one out of all of us that went up there, and he witnessed it physically, like he was there, and it was upsetting for him. Imagine, we're upset just watching it on TV. So all through the week I was getting nervous about the whole thing. And then what made it even worse is when I saw a clip of one of the EDF, whatever they want to call themselves, putting it out saying that, listen, these people are smashing up our statues. We can't let that happen. Calling out for the rest of if you call yourself a geezer, if you call yourself a this, if you're a football supporter, are you going to stay there, come down and stand up for your country? So I'm thinking, what's going on here? And as far as I'm concerned, when I was about 17 to 18, we had a similar thing in Oxford Street when there was I think there was a big protest going on, or something. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, there was a big riot. We went down there and was fighting against skinheads and NFs, all sort of things happened. So I'm thinking, hold on a minute, is this all coming back again? Is this what it's become to? I started panicking, I was getting worried. And for the whole week, I was reaching out to all my, my generation, all my friends. I said, listen, we need to go up there because, there's going to be a lot of children up there. They see what happened last time. We need to stop this from happening. We need to go up there and stand and say, listen, you can't basically take liberties out of our children, the mothers and the dads, that are going up there. I had a few respond for quite a lot of people. But for me, it was a thing that I'm going up there to protect. If there's going to be anything that's going to kick off, we're here ready. If you're going to kick off, we're not going there to fight them or do anything. It's just to make sure we're going to look to protect all our children, protect all the women and all the generation, whoever's there doing a simple protest. I'm in security, so I wanted to do that. So I've reached out to all of my guys. There's a few people that wanted to go up there and kick off for them. No, I don't. That's not what I'm about. I didn't want to do that because I've done that before. As far as I'm concerned, if they're going to start kicking off for us, myself and the rest of whoever's around me, we're ready to do the same. So anyway, I reached out, as I said, a lot of people, few people were up for it. And I saw Jermaine's post and he was angry, he was passionate. So I rang him, I said, listen, you know what, I'm ready. I've got a couple of guys that are going to come up to make sure that our people are safe while they're doing what they're doing. So myself, Patrick, Chris, Lee, and Jermaine, we went up there and we were just doing what I'm expecting the rest of the brothers who are my generation, and I'm talking, I think I would say 38 plus, like to 50, should have been together to get this, make sure that our people are safe and they're doing what they're doing. And then basically, there's a lot of things happening. That was just one of them. I'm sure the guys will let you know. There's a lot of things that were happening on the day. But this one, it was just an incident that, as far as I see it, our kids are angry. They're angry. They're ready to do damage. You understand? Because if I was that age, I'd be ready to do damage. So when we saw this happening, and literally, I think there's only about 3 or 4 of those white the white guys that were against us, and they were outnumbered. I'm telling you now, there would have been that same guy there would have been, who knows anyway. He would have been finished. So myself and the rest of the guys made a decision. Listen, we have to go in there and protect the guy. We have to stop them from him getting a proper beating. And it wasn't just us. It was a few other people that was, obviously, there was a girl, a couple of people screaming, nah, leave him, don't hurt him, don't hurt him. So we went in there, shielded him. Patrick, as I said, I remember it was Patrick and Jermaine Lee who kind of got in from, because I was in there already shouting and screaming at them, saying, listen, don't hurt him, keep him safe. And Patrick and the guys, Patrick pulled him out and took him to safety. So at the end of the day, the way I'm looking at it, if that guy, we have to understand this, every single black man, if that guy got beat up in a way that he died or anything like that, every single one of us, I don't care if you're a roadman, if you're a businessman, if you're wherever you are, as long as you're black, yeah, I'm telling you now, we would have been in some, they will be looking at us as heroes right now. Yeah, every single black man right now is a hero. Do you understand? Because of the movement that God, our ancestors, gave us that day to do, right? So if what I'm a bit angry with, because I'm hearing my own people, they want to open up the mouth and look at us, the movement that we've done, and say, why did you do that? I'm confused. Why my own black people that I love so much, that anyone that knows me, I'm ready to fight for them. And I'm not even joking. If people know me, they know that I'll do that. And they're moaning and angry why we done that move there. I mean, I'm confused. Trust me, it's upset me. And it's upset me so much that I've literally kind of pulled away from certain things. I've only come to The Voice because this is us. This is our main, platform for us black people.
Yeah.
And I'm very disappointed that some of my own people from the community are upset. Why do we leave that man to get broke up like that? It doesn't make no sense. Why?
Do you think that there is some there's a huge way to go before we all turn that trauma that a lot of black people go through, black men specifically, before it's turned into constructive energy that understands that we can't keep repeating the negativity? Violence begets violence. If we stay in this perpetual cycle of negativity, then we won't uplift ourselves. What you did is break the cycle, like you said, with the strength of your ancestors. Chris, I want to know what it meant to you to embark upon this mission.
Me personally, echoes exactly what Pierre and my brothers have said in so many interviews. And Joel, you covered it yourself just now as well. There were a lot of different agendas going down or up to Trafalgar Square on the day. Some people were going to try and tear down a statue. Some people were going down to battle the terrorists for their own purpose. Some people were going to let off steam because they've been on lockdown for how long. Different people had their own agendas, including the police and the government as well. Me personally, similar to what Bush Pierre has said, it was a spiritual calling, a universal calling. For me, everything happened for a reason, and my consciousness told me no matter what happened, like myself, like the other guys who's dropped off, all of us have our families, we have children, we're fathers as well, sons, brothers, and all of us had our loved ones saying, especially me, I had my ladies that were like, Chris, at first they were like, don't go. Then afterwards, and they realized there was a purpose for it. They were like, okay, if you go, just be careful. It's a responsibility, like you say, to change the narrative. And me, I was going down there to protect our youth, one, from any terrorists that were going to try and take advantage of this peaceful protest. Two, from the police. The police are supposed to be there to protect and serve, but we know too well the whole purpose of this protest is because of the police's actions, whether it's onshore or offshore. It's the same thing. All of us have been victims of police, whether it's racial profiling or whatever. So two, the police we're protecting them from. And three, it's sad to say, but we're protecting them from themselves or ourselves, because unfortunately, there are too many people in influential positions right now, whether it's media, social media, whatever it is, who we saw encouraging these kids to go out there and fight and da, da. And yes, we're not saying don't go and protest, but I mean, you're snitching on yourselves. You're getting these young kids who've been knocked down, who need to release that rage, riled up and all that, and then recording yourselves, knocking down signs, trying to fight people, looking for like people to try and fight. Some people even running away from violence. But I don't know. And it's like now, and you're basically making a document for the police then to, you know, to start working backwards from. The police themselves, if anyone was paying attention, which I don't think most people were, the police themselves had the cameras. Check out a lot of the pictures. The police had cameras. The second you see police officers stood there with cameras and standing back and allowing you to commit crime, you need to really think to yourself, what's actually going on? The police, there were so many interventions that the police could have stopped. The police could have stopped that guy, that Pat put on his shoulder. The police could have stopped that very easily. They could have stopped the one where several altercations that happened that we intervened in and we stood into. They didn't. They stopped. They stood there and recorded and allowed certain people to get it. There was one in Trafalgar Square. Two boys tried to walk from the stairs to the other side of Trafalgar Square. Two EDF little donuts. And once again, police just let them stroll through, watching them stroll through, and protesters, I won't call them BLM or whatever they are, protesters, jumped into these, probably would have killed them, until the point where these boys were almost close to death. That's when the police jumped in, started doing barricades around them. And it's like, you're literally putting lambs to the slaughter, and lambs on both sides, lambs for these EDL ones who want to try and prove their point, and then also lambs on our side, lambs who don't understand that you're being used as an accessory for something else, who, when the police now go and start knocking on doors, oh, is this you in this picture? Is this you in this video? Jay and myself this morning did a live stream on Instagram, and I jumped on it, and Jay was saying the exact same thing. We really hope that any of our brothers and sisters, kings and queens, who are caught up on camera, because the police are going to come knocking, well, heaven forbid, but if the police do come knocking, I hope these same influencers who are calling people out, yeah, come on, let's get into fights, and I hope those same influencers, those same people go out and post bail or represent these guys in court, or help them keep food on the table, because a lot of people, you know, Jay, I won't use, like Jay, I'll quote Jay's words. Jay said a lot of these people now who are potentially going to be facing time or facing court cases are the breadwinners in their family. A lot of people from our communities that now have the worry and the burden of, is this going to have any repercussions on me because I was caught on camera? Some people are even posing, you know. But yeah, hope that answers your question in regards to the purpose of why we went down there was to protect our youth and try and ensure their futures are still intact without allowing them to sort of be misled.
Talk about the pulling together of 5 people, 6 people with a collective mindset and an appetite for a unified attempt to nullify some of the threats that our own people would have been involved in, whether they brought them on themselves or they were in direct threat from others. Talk about unifying that mindset and actually maybe adding to it, gathering some momentum.
Yeah, I hope that what we did do and our movement has probably encouraged some of the elders to come out and to oversee and make sure that that the youngers are protesting correctly and not doing anything silly. Because there was an incident as well where a young black man was walking and he was got like a spray. He had like a spray thing with a Black Lives Movement, and he was going to spray it on a lamppost, and the police was right behind him. And I think it was Jermaine that the police was going to go and approach him, but Jermaine's gone there and approached him. Said, "Boy, what are you doing? Come on, there's police here, and you're going to spray paint in front of them, get yourself arrested." Do you know what I mean? So he's like, he needed us to tell him, to guide him, like, it's not the right thing for you to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to move on. And then he listened, and because he could see that Jermaine was older, and he actually listened and moved on, because he could have went completely the other way, and the police could have arrested him and could have got done for whatever criminal damage and whatnot. But I do believe that us looking over the younger generation out there is probably a real good idea, because out there they were doing some crazy, not crazy, I want to say crazy, but they're doing some things where they just needed guidance. Even down to when they were a couple of occasions when they were attacking one of the EDL guys. These guys, these young black guys, we're athletes, man. We're like hyenas. You know what I mean? We're athletes. We're different to them. You know what I mean? We're stronger than them. And the way they was moving, it's just we had to jump in. It's like 10 Mike Tysons on one body. So we got to stop. We have to stop it. Make them calm down, because if they carry on going, there's life sentences for 10 young men. So it's a good thing that we are there to oversee that they are okay. But I hope that it does. It is an eye opener to a lot of people to go out there and to, if you want to call it policing or to oversee, I think it's a good idea that we do go out there and give these young people a hand, because like Jermaine, Chris said, that the protest when the lady licked herself off the horse when Jermaine was down there, and they started charging, a lot of them were younger generation. There was no uncles or no elders there to oversee and to protect. So yeah.
If emotion is nothing but energy and motion, talk about being in that moment, Lee. Just talk about actually making the conscious decision to back up Patrick, to back up Pierre, and to provide that support, because that's not the work of the weak-hearted. It's not the work of the faint-hearted.
Well, when it kind of happened, I think for us it's all second nature. We're all from a similar backgrounds, all into martial arts, so we're used to combat. I'm used to intervening with stuff, as well as Pierre. I mean, Pierre both into security, so intervening and breaking up situations like that, it's come second nature. But there was no fear, there was no nothing. It was second nature. I came down there with these 5 men. They're my boys. They had my back. I had my. We came down there with the same energy, the same purpose. So as soon as I've seen, who did I first see? As soon as I've seen Chris gone in, it was obviously seen Pierre gone in, and then seen Jermaine go in. It's just like we've all had to strong arm everybody, not just us. There's other people that we have to strong arm, push, make a human barrier to get this guy to back all these people off from them. And then the last person there was Patrick. Patrick come in, done his thing, picked him up, and it was second nature. Just second nature. With no instance, And then when Patrick's carrying him out, there's still people trying to hit the fella and hit Patrick. Obviously, if they're going to try to hit the guy, they're going to hit Patrick Madison. So we're just trying to back them all off, just give him back to the police that was at the bottom of the stairs.
Patrick, you obviously are centre of all of this with the famous picture which has gone around the world. I can only imagine what you were feeling like at the moment. Your face didn't betray any emotion, though. So talk about what was going through your mind other than just the objective of getting him safe.
Like I've said previously, that you don't have time to think in moments like that. You kind of just do what you have to do. But one thing that gives you the confidence to move like that. You see, when I know who I am as a person. Yeah, that I'm a strong brother. I train. I'm fearless. I'm not frightened of nothing, right? And when you've got 4 other brothers just like you, yeah, not frightened of nothing, then 5 of you together, that we are a serious force to be reckoned with. Even though only 5 of us turned up, we knew that that's all we needed, because all of us have hearts of lions, and we're all super talented in our own fields, and we're all very confident men, and we're elder heads, and we're very astute to what's going on, and we understand that the young generation are a bit hot-headed and frustrated. So we just knew what we had to do, and there was just no thought about anything, man. Everything was just action, action, action. These guys rushed in. They saw trouble before I even noticed it. They rushed in there, and Tutu's eyes behind them, following up. And then, they're trying to get to this man, because it's almost like he's under a sea of people, and they get into him. Then they manage to get to him. And then whilst they're sort of like, blocking and protecting him, then I scoop up and pick him up and carry him out. So everybody, no one said anything to anybody. We just did, but we was all on the same page, you know. I mean, no one said to me, Patrick, pick him up. It was just intuition. I just thought if he stays there, it's not going to end well, you know. And we can't all protect him forever, because obviously we're outnumbered, right? There's more people trying to harm him than there are people trying to protect him. So it was almost like common sense. Pick him up and get him out of there, you know. And that was it. After
you done that, Patrick, did you expect? I mean, you didn't know you were being snapped and pictured. Obviously, everybody is aware of phones. Did you expect what's come since, and how much has that blown your mind in terms of the way that people have been interested in you guys? Not necessarily the real crux of the story, which is why we had to do this, but you know, how much have you been blown away by that, and what can you utilize that energy for moving forward, if anything?
I mean, it's been phenomenal. I mean, whatever I would have thought, I can times that by 10, like in terms of what it's done. My life has been turned on its head at the moment. Majority of the things have been positive. I've had some real positive, well-wishing messages from around the world. I've had a lot from white people, especially, who have had to even say to themselves, I need to look at what I can do to help with the movement, and, you know, question myself. Am I racist? I never thought I was, but maybe I am. People are looking at themselves. It's really hit some people hard, and it's gone to the crux of the problem. And I feel like it's definitely one of those catalyst moments that they'll look back in history and say something about, because honestly, the amount of messages I've had is unreal, you know. I couldn't even imagine it would be anything like this. It's just way beyond what I could have comprehended.
Jermaine.
Sorry. And the last thing I forgot, you said going forward, what we think.
Yeah. What would you like?
I feel that now we have a platform. We, you know, as a collective group, you know, we're going to do things with this. We're going to set up a charity. We're going to try and get the curriculum in schools changed, Black history, so it's not just October, it's the whole year round, and it's not just slavery, it's what we were doing before we became slaves, you know, all of that. It's going to be, you know, we're going to try and get to the people at the top, you know, and try and force change. You know, we're going to do what we can with our platform that we have. We're going to do what we can to improve the lives of Black people and our youngsters, because we've all got children, and I've got grandchildren, and we want them to have a better life than we had. You know.
Jermaine, I said to you.
Sorry to cut. I think notice with the Black history, I think people of other colours need to know that we're as inventors as well. We invented things, and they need to know that we ain't. Some of them might think that we're stupid. We ain't stupid. Do you know what I mean? So they need to know about Black history, not just like you said in October, like throughout the whole of school. You know, rather than like you said, World War I, World War II, and all that. No, I need to know more about us.
Jermaine, you when I spoke to you the day after, I said the headlines and the front pages of newspapers all over the world look very, very different if you guys are not there. It's just that simple to me, right? And I spoke about how much I loved you for doing what you did, all of you guys on there, and I want you to all know that. Because, like Pierre alluded to, everything looks very different if that man doesn't make it. I mean, not least because of the fact that he was a former policeman, which is what I've read in the Daily Mail. So, Jay, when you put out the call next time, do you expect a bigger response? And will you even care about that?
No, you know what? I shouldn't have to make a call, because just as the same reason why the call was called out is because of government. The government has allowed a terrorist to ask his rest of his crew to go onto the streets of central London and cause a race war. This is what the government did, because at any time, everyone could have got stopped. People travelled from around the UK to come and be part of his terrorist gang. if that person was a black person with a beard, he would have been a terrorist. No disrespect to and condolences to everyone in Reading. They have called this guy a terrorist straight away because he was fair-skinned and whatever information he was spouting. So the same information that terrorist Tommy does, he should have been labelled the same. But regarding my fellow bartending friends who are literally my gym buddies who I normally see all the time, who I was asking, let's go out there and oversee our children. You know what? They just got to look themselves in the face today and ask themselves that question, because I can't give you that answer. You know, some of them inbox me and say, Jay, you was right. I'm sorry, Jay. Yeah, you was right. You know what? That's cool. Sometimes you're scared. Sometimes you're worried. You might lose your job. You really are not for the cause. That's okay. Not everybody needs to be in your gang. Not everyone needs to follow your mindset. You know, maybe once it's done, and then okay, yeah, they'll come because they sin. We've paved the way. Then they may come the second time, or they may go, and we may be at home. Who knows? I don't know.
Pierre, I'll finish with you unless you guys want to make any more pertinent and salient points, and we've got as long as you want. You seem to be the elder statesman for this crew. Would that be right?
Say that again.
The elder statesman in this crew. Would that be right? Is that?
I'm the second. Patrick is the oldest, but
you and Patrick, yeah, okay. It's just that they're waiting for you with such a respect and reverence. I did wonder.
No, it's just you know what it is. It's they know the love I've got for my people, man. They know it, and Patrick will tell you, I was on his case about this because I couldn't rest. I was on his case. I said, listen, Pat, a lot of people let me down. I need you to come. Chris rang me and said, P, if you need me, I'm there. And they said that I got a next brother called Lee. So for me, it was just like wicked. And then I'm on the phone looking, and I see Jermaine saying, rah, where's all the brothers? I can't believe this. None of you are there. And we're going to let our children go up there. I'm thinking, don't worry. Bush is there for you, bruv. So I rang him straight away. I rang him in the morning. I said, listen, we're ready. I got three other men come over. He go, yeah, wicked, P. Meet me in Brixton. Done. So, Pat, all of them, man, they know where I'm coming from. It's just I got love for my people then. I have.
What I wanted to ask you specifically was, you mentioned the fact that you were disappointed with those from our community that have come with the negative and said that you should have let people do what they was doing on the day, and wherever that went, it went. Now, I don't see how that would have benefited us. Just in terms of how positive the outcome was and the reaction that's been from most people, how do you hope that will help kind of feed into what you guys as a collective want to do moving forward? What kind of help are you looking for specifically to enable you guys to bring about, continued change?
Well, I think it's opened the doors for us to listen. I've got 3 sons. He's got sons. Lee's got children. Chris has got the same. So that's how I'm looking at it. I don't want them to go through what I've been through and all my pals have been through. You know how hard it's been for us. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. So this here is just to let the other race know that, listen, we're a positive bunch of people. We open the doors and we do good for you, for ourselves. We do good for everyone. Don't be afraid. Don't be panic. Don't panic. Don't worry about nothing just because I'm stronger than you. Do you understand? No, seriously, and that's the truth. Just relax. If someone's beating you over there, I'll come and jump in and say, no, yeah, brothers.
Yeah, hold on. The mad thing about it, I think we're talking like they don't know already, so we shouldn't do that, because the bottom line is majority of the society knows that we're just as normal as they are, but we are living in a systemic racist society. What is being built not to better and not to push our black faces and our brown faces and forward. So we are looking to intercept that. We're looking to intercept that. We're looking to make sure doors are open. We're looking for prison reform. We're looking for employment fairness, real employment in fairness. Because if anything did happen to that man,
Yeah.
worse than what happened, just think what society would be like. So now my black sister will be going for that promotion job next week, and because what has happened and the mindset of society right now, she wouldn't have got that job. And that guy might not even be a racist, but because he just saw Black Lives Matter killed a granddad of 3, father of 2, protecting Churchill, in his mindset, he's thinking, I ain't giving that so-and-so a job. And that's what would have happened if we did not intersect.
People need to... Sorry, Jay. I was just going to say, this is what our community need to understand that. You know, we're looking at a bigger picture. We're not just looking at a white man and a black man fighting on that day. It was deeper than that. This is what we're standing for. This is what we're trying to say. You know, so we need to build on this seriously. Every one of us.
Joel, another thing just to be clear on, and I think we need to make a point of saying in every interview we have, we are not, and we have never been Black Lives Matter. We didn't.
You should say that at the beginning. I thought you did that.
I did say that. Okay, thank you, brother. You know what? I think we've had to repeat it so many times. I just want to make it.
We have to repeat it.
We have to. Dues to them, or kudos for whatever they're doing and whatever motions and changes they're making. But we are not Black Lives Matter. We are fathers, brothers, sons, black fathers, brothers, sons who care for our community. And it's as simple as that. And
we're looking for change.
Fathers
for change.
We're making and changing the narrative. Like my brothers have said, we're literally changing the narrative from what the media want to one portray us as, and 2 want to try and allow for us. We're literally breaking down those barriers, and we're taking control.
Guys, you've done a massive job for the community that I genuinely believe the effects are incalculable. I don't think that we can really anticipate or predict the fallout from Black Lives Matter killing a former policeman at a peaceful protest. I just can't. So again, I love all 5 of you and thank you on behalf of the community. And you know, may the good works continue. If there's anything else you want to add, now's the time. But know that we'll be in touch and in constant liaison to kind of promote anything you guys are doing. Just let me know. But on that note, unless there's anything else.
Thank you, Joel, because once again, I've said it on the Piers Morgan show. You tried to cut me off, but you as news reporters, as channels and platforms, you have a massive responsibility as well. And brothers, kings and queens like yourself, who allow us to come on and tell the true story and not just do a sort of 2-minute headline rendition with your own agenda. People like you are helping us push that message out. So thank you for using your platform and influencing in the right way, because it's kings and queens like you that will also go down in history. You're going to be in the curriculums in the next 10 years. Our kids are going to be reading. So thank you so much for allowing us to be on your show as well, brother.
Love, bro. Love.
And one thing, and the other thing I wanted to add, Joe, to that is that because you have a platform, our black people, we need to understand that we've tried this on our own for far too long, and we haven't got anywhere. No. We need a white counterpart on side, right? So when I said, like, it's not black versus white, it's everybody versus the racists. We need white people alongside us, yeah? It can work, yeah? But if we alienate white people, right, by allowing our young men to do whatever they need to do and end up possibly taking that man's life, right, then it just defeats everything we're trying to do, you know? So we're not just trying to, be pro-black out here and just, alienate other races. We're not doing that. We're like Butch always says this, he's here for white, black, Chinese, Indian. He's here for everybody. And we are here, like, it's not a race thing, There's only one race, and that's the human race. You understand? And so that's what we're trying to, embody as well,
I totally understand. And thanks, Patrick, because obviously that you're the man in the picture, and like I said, there were no more powerful image that weekend, and I think we'll struggle to see a more powerful one for the rest of the year, no matter what protests transpire. So on behalf of the Voice newspaper, thanks for your time, guys. Really appreciate it. As I said,
No
if
worries.
anything else transpires, any news, more news comes to pass, let me know. We're here to push out the message. But congratulations on good work and continued success in all that you guys do. Yeah.
Thank you,
Man,
brother.
cheers,
Appreciate
man.
it.
We're gonna need you to push our charities and stuff. You know what I mean? So,
Amen.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Bless.
Thank you.